Nicaragua is embarking on a massive infrastructure project, the construction of a $75 billion canal. This ambitious endeavor aims to rival the Panama Canal, a century-old passage connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The proposed Nicaragua Canal, if completed, promises to reshape global shipping routes and redefine the geopolitical landscape. However, the project faces significant challenges, including environmental concerns, financial viability, and potential social impacts. The Nicaragua Canal project has sparked intense debate, with proponents touting its economic benefits and detractors highlighting its potential risks. The canal's fate hangs in the balance, its realization uncertain, but its impact potentially far-reaching. As the world watches, Nicaragua stands at a crossroads, poised to either usher in a new era of global trade or become mired in a costly and controversial gamble. The Panama Canal, completed in 1914, revolutionized global trade. It provided a vital shortcut for ships traveling between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, eliminating the need to navigate around the treacherous waters of South America. The canal facilitated the efficient transport of goods, reduced shipping costs, and stimulated economic growth. For over a century, the Panama Canal has served as a linchpin of international commerce, connecting major economies and shaping global trade patterns. The canal's strategic importance has not gone unnoticed. Control of the Panama Canal has been a subject of geopolitical maneuvering and competition among world powers. The United States, recognizing the canal's significance, played a pivotal role in its construction and maintained control over it for much of the 20th century. The Panama Canal's legacy is one of both economic prosperity and geopolitical significance, highlighting the profound impact such infrastructure projects can have on the world stage. Nicaragua's proposed canal aims to surpass the Panama Canal in size and capacity. The planned route stretches over 170 miles, significantly longer than the Panama Canal's 50-mile waterway. The Nicaragua Canal is designed to accommodate larger ships, including supertankers and cargo vessels that exceed the Panama Canal's limitations. This increased capacity, proponents argue, would reduce shipping times and costs, making it an attractive alternative for global trade. However, the Nicaragua Canal's larger scale also raises concerns. Its construction would require the excavation of vast amounts of earth and rock, potentially impacting Nicaragua's fragile ecosystems. The canal's route traverses Lake Nicaragua, Central America's largest freshwater lake, raising fears of ecological damage and water pollution. The project's environmental impact remains a subject of intense debate and scrutiny. Proponents of the Nicaragua Canal tout its potential to transform Nicaragua's economy. They envision the canal as a catalyst for job creation, foreign investment, and economic development. The construction phase alone is expected to generate thousands of jobs, providing much-needed employment opportunities in a country struggling with poverty. The canal's operation, proponents argue, would attract international shipping companies, boost tourism, and position Nicaragua as a major player in global trade. However, critics argue that the economic benefits are overstated and that the project poses significant environmental risks. They point to the potential for deforestation, habitat destruction, and water pollution as major concerns. The canal's route through Lake Nicaragua, a vital source of freshwater and biodiversity, is particularly worrisome. Critics argue that the project's environmental costs outweigh its economic benefits, jeopardizing Nicaragua's natural heritage for uncertain economic gains. China's strategic foothold, the Belt and Road Initiative, extends to Central America. China's involvement in the Nicaragua Canal project has raised geopolitical concerns. The project aligns with China's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, a global infrastructure development strategy aimed at expanding China's economic and geopolitical influence. The Nicaragua Canal, if completed, would provide China with a strategic foothold in Central America, a region traditionally within the United States' sphere of influence. The canal's construction by a Chinese company and the potential for Chinese control over its operations have raised concerns about China's growing influence in the region. The United States, wary of China's ambitions, views the Nicaragua Canal project with suspicion, seeing it as a potential challenge to its regional hegemony. The canal project has become entangled in the broader geopolitical rivalry between the United States and China, adding another layer of complexity to an already controversial undertaking. Navigating troubled waters, social and environmental concerns. The Nicaragua Canal project faces significant social and environmental challenges. The canal's route traverses indigenous communities, raising concerns about land rights, displacement, and the potential for cultural disruption. The project's environmental impact on Lake Nicaragua, a vital ecosystem, is a major concern. Critics argue that the canal's construction and operation could lead to water pollution, habitat destruction, and the introduction of invasive species. The Nicaraguan government's handling of the project has also drawn criticism. Concerns have been raised about a lack of transparency, inadequate environmental assessments, and the potential for corruption. The project's social and environmental impacts remain major points of contention, fueling opposition to the canal and raising questions about its long-term viability. A costly gamble. Feasibility and financial viability in question. The Nicaragua Canal project's feasibility and financial viability have been called into question. The project's estimated cost of $75 billion is a staggering sum for a country with a developing economy like Nicaragua. Critics argue that the project is financially unrealistic and that its actual cost is likely to be much higher than initial estimates. They point to the potential for cost overruns, delays, and financing difficulties as major risks. Moreover, the project's economic viability is uncertain. The global shipping industry is currently facing overcapacity, and it is unclear whether there is sufficient demand to justify the construction of a new canal. The Panama Canal, which recently underwent a major expansion, remains a formidable competitor. The Nicaragua Canal project, critics argue, is a risky gamble, one that could saddle Nicaragua with a massive debt burden and uncertain economic returns. Reshaping global trade routes. The potential impact on shipping and logistics. The Nicaragua Canal, if completed, has the potential to reshape global trade routes and impact shipping and logistics. Its larger size and capacity compared to the Panama Canal would accommodate larger ships, potentially reducing shipping times and costs for certain routes. This could lead to shifts in trade patterns, with some shipping companies opting to use the Nicaragua Canal for its efficiency. The canal's impact on global trade, however, remains uncertain. The success of the Nicaragua Canal would depend on various factors, including its operating costs, the global demand for shipping, and the competitive landscape of the shipping industry. The canal's realization could lead to a redistribution of trade flows, potentially benefiting some regions while impacting others. A new world order. The geopolitical implications of a Nicaraguan canal. The Nicaragua Canal project carries significant geopolitical implications. Its construction by a Chinese company and the potential for Chinese influence over its operations have raised concerns about China's growing presence in Central America. The United States, traditionally the dominant power in the region, views the project with suspicion, seeing it as a potential challenge to its regional hegemony. The canal's existence could alter the balance of power in the region, potentially leading to increased competition and tensions between China and the United States. The Nicaragua Canal project highlights the shifting geopolitical landscape, with China's rise as a global power challenging the established order. The canal's completion could have far-reaching consequences, reshaping alliances, influencing regional dynamics, and potentially fueling geopolitical rivalries. Global reactions and political maneuvering. The announcement of the Nicaragua Canal has sent ripples through the international community. Nations around the world are closely monitoring the developments, each with their own set of interests and concerns. Pause while ones. In the United States, political leaders have voiced apprehension, emphasizing the potential threat to national security and economic interests. Congressional hearings have been held, with experts debating the implications of a new canal under Chinese influence. Pause ones. Meanwhile, in China, government officials and state media have hailed the project as a monumental step in strengthening global trade routes. The canal is seen as a strategic asset that will bolster China's Belt and Road Initiative, further enhancing its global reach. Pause ones. European nations are also paying close attention. Some see opportunities for enhanced trade and economic partnerships, while others worry about the environmental impact and the potential for geopolitical instability. Pause ones. Latin American countries are divided. Some leaders welcome the investment and the promise of economic growth, while others fear the loss of sovereignty and the environmental consequences. Pause ones. International organizations, including the United Nations and various environmental groups, have called for comprehensive assessments and transparency. This is to ensure that the project does not lead to irreversible ecological damage or social upheaval. Pause ones. As global reactions continue to unfold, political maneuvering is in full swing. Alliances are being tested, and new partnerships are emerging. The Nicaragua Canal is more than just an infrastructure project. It is a catalyst for a new era of global politics and economic dynamics. As the world watches the developments surrounding the Nicaragua Canal, one aspect that cannot be overlooked is the technological innovations driving its construction. Pause ones. Engineers and scientists are leveraging cutting-edge technology to tackle the immense challenges of building such a massive waterway. Pause ones. From advanced dredging techniques to the use of artificial intelligence in project management, the canal's construction is a showcase of modern engineering prowess. Pause ones. Autonomous machinery and robots are being deployed to perform tasks that would be hazardous for human workers. These innovations not only enhance efficiency, but also improve safety on the construction site. Pause ones. Furthermore, new materials and construction methods are being tested to ensure the canal's durability and resilience against natural disasters. Pause ones. The use of big data and predictive analytics allows project managers to anticipate potential issues and optimize resource allocation. This minimizes delays and cost overruns, making the project more viable economically. Pause ones. Environmental impact assessment tools are also at the forefront, helping to mitigate the ecological footprint of the construction. Pause ones. As these technological innovations come together, they are not only shaping the future of the Nicaragua Canal, but also setting new standards for infrastructure projects worldwide. Pause ones. The fusion of technology and engineering in this project highlights the potential for human ingenuity to overcome monumental challenges and pave the way for a new era of global trade. As the ambitious Nicaragua Canal project unfolds, international organizations play a crucial role in shaping its future. Institutions like the United Nations, World Bank, and International Maritime Organization are closely monitoring the project's progress. These organizations provide guidelines, funding, and oversight to ensure that the canal adheres to global standards. They also offer a platform for dialogue and cooperation among the countries involved, fostering a collaborative environment. By setting environmental, social, and economic benchmarks, international organizations aim to balance the project's benefits with its potential impacts. Their involvement ensures that the canal contributes positively to global trade while mitigating adverse effects on local communities and ecosystems. Through their expertise and resources, these organizations help navigate the complexities of such a monumental undertaking. As the Nicaragua Canal moves forward, the guidance and support of international organizations will be pivotal in realizing its full potential. Their role underscores the importance of global cooperation in addressing the challenges and opportunities of large-scale infrastructure projects. As the Nicaragua Canal project continues to evolve, its future prospects and challenges remain a topic of intense discussion. On one hand, the canal promises to revolutionize global trade by providing an alternative route for maritime traffic, potentially reducing congestion in the Panama Canal and lowering shipping costs. This could drive economic growth not only in Nicaragua, but also in the surrounding region. However, the project is not without its hurdles. Environmental concerns, financial viability, and social impacts must be carefully managed. The canal's construction could disrupt local ecosystems, displace communities, and strain Nicaragua's financial resources. Video wildlife in Nicaraguan forests. To overcome these challenges, a multifaceted approach involving technological innovation, international cooperation, and sustainable practices will be essential. The success of the Nicaragua Canal will hinge on balancing economic ambitions with environmental stewardship and social responsibility. Ultimately, the project represents a bold vision for the future of global trade, but its realization will depend on the ability to navigate the complex landscape of modern infrastructure development. With careful planning and collaboration, the Nicaragua Canal could become a transformative force in the 21st century.